Hey, the longer podcast, Reflections and the Art of Waiting. Weird title, but it's all very personal. Very personal about looking at the reflection in the mirror and seeing who you see. Seeing who I saw and what it taught me and how I used it. From negativity to positivity. From anxiety and fear and hurt to confidence, comfort, beauty and love. Now, if they're important to you, have a listen after this. Hey, this is the Personal Development Unplugged podcast, where we use hypnosis. Yeah, hypnosis. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Don't worry what it is. It's just a mass of processes that we're going to get you to change. Change to let go of anxiety, low self-esteem, and create massive supreme inner confidence. But that's confidence in your competence and competence in your confidence, which means you can do anything and be safe, to enjoy the world as it should be, with you at the helm, creating the life that you want. That's what this podcast is about. You and being the best you could be, singing from your real voice, aligned with your mission, aligned with your passions. That's what it's about. So if you're interested in letting go of anxiety, if you're interested in letting go of fear, guilt, all those blooming syndromes, imposter syndromes, and every little bit of the mind which is negative, then have a listen here, because we've got some wonderful processes and lots of good conversations between you and me to get us both thinking in such wonderful ways. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Just take the chance to have a listen.
This is Personal Development Unplugged with Paul Clough.
In simplicity, there is genius.
In simplicity, there is genius.
Hey, my friend. Funny title, isn't it? Reflections and the Art of Waiting. Yeah, it's really weird. And this is pretty personal, this one. This is pretty personal because I'm talking about reflections. And reflections can change. And you might say, what the bloody hell are you talking about, Cluffy? Reflections change. You see, it's like looking in a mirror. It's an imaginary mirror, I guess. But it could be a real mirror. But looking in the mirror, what's reflecting back at you? And do you like that person who you see, or what you see, who you see? You know, you could say, and there's a saying which I don't really get, are you seeing who you're meant to be? And I think that's difficult to see. Well, it doesn't, because some people think, well, if I see a reflection who I'm meant to be and I'm not that person, that's weird. But I don't think you'll see the true reflection or believe it, that it's who you're meant to be, because you're who you're meant to be right now, but we've all got time to grow. And I think you see, for me, I've been thinking about this reflection who you're meant to be as being, well, it's something you've got to review. Because sometimes when I look in that mirror, I don't like what I see. Sometimes I do. It's weird. And it's like having mixed reviews, which is really quite strange to think about, I guess. But it's not heavy, but I just look at it and I go, yeah, I know. But sometimes I think it's just a surface thing. And I don't feel like that reflection in the mirror. I might see or imagine seeing who I'm meant to be, but I just don't feel that way. And sometimes I look at that reflection who I think I'm meant to be, and I haven't been living my life or behaving like that. And that can be a bit of a conflict, can't it? Seeing the person you're meant to be and knowing You're not there yet. And that's sort of a conflict because you're seeing two different, or you're feeling differently to what you see or what you're thinking. And I also wonder, well, what are other people seeing? What is the reflection they're seeing of me? And obviously I don't know that. I can try mind reading, but we've done that before. And we said mind reading just doesn't work, does it? And this thing, you see, it started to get me down. I told you this is a bit personal. It started to get me down. Having this sort of reflection in my mind. I mean, I could see who I wanted to be. I could see how I would be in front of me. I can see the way I would walk. I could hear my voice. And I could hear, like, the tonality of it. The happiness in it. The being at peace in it. I could even get a feeling and a sense of what it would feel like to be like that. And it's who I long to be. And the thing is, sometimes, you get to write about it, and I get, in my journal, I get negative. And because I'm not there. And I want to be there. And I think I should be there. And we should all over ourselves, don't we? Weird, I know. I mean, what about you? Does that resonate with you at all? If it doesn't, and you're living that life, I applaud you and I support you and I want to be there with you. But I know so many times this can be a negative to see, well, you're longing to be that person you imagine to be in the mirror. And it's not you yet. We have to add that word yet, because I thought to myself, after writing negative stuff in my journal, I thought to myself, this is bloody good, Cluffy. And then I said, really? Are you sure? I said, yeah, this is good. Because it's not a conflict, really. If I use it right. It's only a conflict if I get a different feeling. Not the feeling that I want to be and have, but where I get hurt or where I get anxious but I can use this because it's a reflection of how I want to be. And if I wanted to, and I can because I can see it as a reflection, I can imagine being like that and how I could improve more and more. You see, to me, it's in my unconscious mind telling me, you're not quite there yet, Cluffy. You could have given up. And I think that's what I'm trying to say to you. When we get like that, it's that one little bit more. How can I use this? How can I use this? What can I learn from this? Because you can. Even that learning, you're not quite there yet. It implies I'm going to get there, but I'm just not there yet. I've got to learn something. And you can, if you're like me, because you're not quite there yet. And the thing is, what brought it home to me was that, well, maybe I'll never be there yet. Because every time I look in the mirror, even as I improve in a good way, improvement is in a good way, but not that egotistical type of improvement, just being a better me, a richer in every sense of the word, living a life that's really helping people and doing stuff. I'm going to get better. And I can always be more, because whatever I think about, I would say, you're more than that. I'm more than that. So that reflection in the mirror will always be pulling me to be a bit better. And what I'm seeing and imagining comes from me. So it's not me poking myself in the eye and saying, yeah, you haven't done it. You're a loser. No, it's encouraging me to show me what's possible. Because if I can imagine it, it means I can believe in it. And if I can believe in it, I can see it. Because like Wayne Dyer said, when you believe it, you'll see it. And I know, and I do know, this what came to me as like a little aha moment is, well, sometimes, Cluffy, you actually feel like that, don't you? And you think, yeah, I do. And the other thing I think of is, well, everything I see in that reflection, the things I want to feel, the things I want to be, I must have had in the past. Or know it's obtainable, because I wouldn't be able to imagine it if I hadn't experienced it before. So, in some ways, I take this of, how can I use this? Well, it's just acknowledging there's work to do. Don't stop, Cluffy, don't stop. There's work to do, and it's going to be fun, because every time you get that little bit better, life gets a little bit richer, and you can live that rich life, and you can keep being more. Not egotistical more, where we go for more and more and more and more, but we just want to be better in ourselves. Be the real version of ourselves, singing from our real voice, showing up the real us in the world, and then getting better at being the real us, I guess. So looking at that reflection, I asked myself, so what do I need to change? What do I need to change? I mean, if I was to imagine life like that great reflection, look at that reflection of who I want to be. When I imagine that, I want it. I want it. And I might even ask myself, to get there, what have I got to stop doing that I'm doing now, that if I stop doing would allow me to move towards that me out there, that real me? What have I got to stop doing that I'm doing right now? That if I stop doing it, I'd move towards. And what have I got to start doing? The things I'm not doing, that if I started doing them, well, would allow me to move forward, allow me to learn, to enjoy life even more. Because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Being in the right state, to have a rich life, to enjoy life. Oh, does this resonate at all? Does it? You know, are you like me? That you have this want to be the real you. You know, or if nothing else, you know there's more. There's more to get, more to have, more to enjoy, more to give. I think we can all get with that one, can't we? Now, I wonder if you want to do something like that with me now. Just to start the process off. Thinking of that reflection. If you do, remember, I'm a therapist, not your therapist. And this is going to be a little bit trancy, which means no driving machinery, no driving at all. In fact, finding a safe place, just to be quiet for a moment. Sit down. Lie down if you want. Just get comfortable. And being comfortable. You don't have to close your eyes just yet. You could just look ahead or look just above eye line and take a nice in-breath with me. Hold it for a moment or two. And then as you let it out slowly, allow your eyes to close. That's all it is. And simply breathe. And just keep breathing in a lovely way. Maybe making every in-breath more gentle than the one before. That's right. And with every out-breath, allow yourself to go inside, to be drawn inside to a place of comfort. And that's all we're going to do. There's no countdown. This is not full hypnosis. It's just going inside to review. So with every breath, you can get more and more comfortable. And with every breath you take, you can get more and more in tune with your unconscious mind, your best friend. And I just want you to notice right now how you really see yourself. Not that reflection of who you want to be, but how you see yourself now. having made all wonderful changes and adjustments in your life up to now, with all your personal development, with all your learnings. Just be aware of how you see yourself and how you feel. How you feel as if it's where you are right now in this adventure, this experience of being you. And I want your unconscious mind to take a scan of that, just to notice how you see yourself and how you feel where you are right now, your progress that you've made. Where are you in this adventure? And as your unconscious mind does that for you, I want you to imagine seeing that reflection of who the real you is, the who you are meant to be, the who you are, but you're not there yet. See that reflection. Just notice that you. And just make sure it's exactly the reflection of how you want to be, how you want to be seen from the outside. And if you were to step into that you, just notice how it feels. Just notice the feelings you get right now. They could be physical feelings of how your body is so at ease. Maybe it's flexible. Maybe it's lighter. And just notice what you see, how you see the world, how the filters have changed, and how, because you've changed the way you're looking at the world, the things you look at have changed already now. Notice if there's any pictures in your mind of the opportunities, the abundance, the relationships, all there for you. Maybe notice that inner voice, how it's changed into be totally supportive of where you are right now. And while we're here, I want you, the unconscious mind, to scan this, to notice the emotions, the beliefs. That's right, the values. Notice the skills. Notice what skills are, what behaviors those skills produce in the world. So as you notice everything in this scan, I want you to notice also, go and find and locate where those resources are within you. Because everyone has a place where you have all the learnings. All those wonderful positive learnings that are available to you whenever you need them. All those wonderful positive beliefs, the sets of belief that support you and empower you. All those wonderful behaviors, which are skills. All the skills that you have. Whether they're talking, they're listening, they're doing. That's right. And as you notice all of those and all of these, I want you to notice at the unconscious level the difference between that first scan and this scan. So the way they felt in the moment and how they feel now. The differences, scan for the differences. So you can notice what resources you need to start accessing more of to enable the change to happen right now. To notice what beliefs need to come and be more prominent and supportive and empowering. What behaviours need to be acted upon, the healthy, readily available new behaviours. That's right. Living to those values with wonderful emotions. again, readily available, healthy emotion, positive emotion. And noticing those differences, you can then begin to plan how you can use them. And as you do that, I ask you, the unconscious mind, to notice, what do you both need to stop doing? That when you stop doing it, will enable you to access these resources and use them right now. And as you consider that, I want you to consider, what are the things you've got to start doing that the both of you aren't doing right now? That if you started doing, would allow this progress to become this reflection quicker, easier, and even better. And what are the small steps that you could take, the small positive changes towards how you want to be, ensuring that everything is safe, comfortable, loving, joyous, readily available, and healthy. To keep them safe, to keep them comfortable. And notice that you can start those new, small, positive changes now, those small steps now. And as you do that, I want you to thank your unconscious mind and thank your conscious mind. Just step out of that reflection and back into yourself, back into you. And as your unconscious mind does that, you can just open your eyes and come back to me and just notice, well, what it feels like now. What does it feel like to know that you're on that path even more now? Maybe it's not that far away, and then you've got to do it again and again. And it's wonderful because it just gets better. All the experiences you'll have, the people you'll meet, the things you'll do, the things you'll learn along the way, because we stretch. The more we stretch, the more we're going to learn, and the more we learn, we're going to stretch ourselves to be the real us, to sing from our real voice. Who cares about being vulnerable? Because I'm just me, showing the real world who you really are. And the thing is, when I did something like this, I struggled for a bit, I struggled with all of this, because sometimes it's quite a bit of doing. And I started the next morning when I was struggling, I stopped and I just had to stop because I couldn't get it right. So I just stopped for a moment, and let it just be for a little while. And then the next morning, journaling, I got all of this out in my head. Wrote the notes, get ready to record this, and I'm reliving it now for you. Because sometimes just leaving a gap, by the way, your unconscious mind can find the solutions for you, because consciously, it's bloody difficult. And if it was easy and just consciously think of these things, you'd do it. But you don't, because it's run by your unconscious mind, your best friend, making sure it's doing the best thing for you. So leave that little gap. You've thought about it. You've set your intention. You know what you want, that feeling. And then let that unconscious mind, that best friend of yours, just find it all out for you. You see, what got me into this a little bit, I think, was sometimes our behaviours. So again, I stuttered there, didn't I? Behaviours, actions, thoughts and words, the ones we don't like, can be a mirror as well. And if you dare to stop and look at them, for me it's journaling, that's how I look at things. And when you do inquire and you do review quietly, you may see those things that you have and you want to change, and have that intention to change. I know personally on mine, there's a thing about never wanting to be hurt again. But there's a better way to live my life and not put barriers up. And because those barriers were actually causing hurt in me. And that's where those behaviours were coming from. And I just took it as a reflection. I can use this. I just have to stop. and look at it. Think about it, consider it, muse. You see, this is what I think. I believe when we, and when I say we, unconscious and conscious minds, get to come in unison and realize there's a conflict going on, that it's no longer appropriate. Those, like for me, those behaviors, actions, thoughts and words that I didn't like were actually hurting me. They weren't protecting me anymore from hurt. They were actually hurting me, hurting other people, which hurt me too. They're no longer appropriate. I go, that's not protecting me at all, is it? It's causing more hurt. And it's just that one little acknowledgement. You go, things can change. Because your unconscious mind seems to get it, I think. It gets it when it's not doing the thing that's working. And we just guide it to a new way. And it's that reflection, again, of the real you. That reflection in the mirror of who we're meant to be, to grow towards. Because that has all the appropriate ways of being, to be safe and experience beauty, love and joy. And I think that's when we see that reflection, we use it as our motivation, as it were. But we use it as a guide, a direction, an aim in mind. And it feels good. Feeling of the wish fulfilled. Hey, got a bit personal there. I'm sorry if I shared too much. I hope I didn't. But it gives you an idea of how these processes come about and how when we look at things like that, and it's looking at them with just like a meta view or a dissociated view, how can I use this? As soon as we go, how can I use this? What can I learn from this? We're looking in on it. And because we are the expert at this, by the way, because you're the expert of being you. And when you look on that, from being the expert, you can learn so much more. Because here's my meta view. Sometimes you just forget how much you do know. And all you have to do is pause and remind yourself. You just have a bit more work to do, that's all. And the intention, remind yourself of that intention is, I just want to be the real me. The closest part of being the real me, and then a bit more. And sometimes it is the art of just leaving it a bit with a question. And how can I learn from this? And then leave it, disappear, go away for a moment or two, an evening, and then come back and notice what you know. Because the other thing is, I made a note of, it's okay. It's okay to want that real you. Because that's what it's all about. And it's all about, the basics, I think, of self-improvement. Where are we now? Where are we going? Where do we want to be? And how can we get there? What can I learn? Who can I learn it from? Who's done it before? All these wonderful things. But it's all about just imagining, looking in the mirror. Get your unconscious mind to send you that reflection to guide you to where you want to be. So now maybe you see it's all the title, Reflections and the Art of Waiting. Well, I hope that makes a bit more sense. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know. You can always email me, feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged. If you did enjoy it and there was nuggets there, please share them with other people, because wouldn't it be nice if everyone got to be the real them? What a wonderful world it will be when they are really living a rich life. In every sense of the word. Experiencing joy, love, happiness, everything like that. Seeing beauty, experiencing beauty in the world. That would be awesome. So please do share this episode to everyone you know, everyone you love, everyone you don't love. It'd be great if you did. Thank you so much for your time. It's so much appreciated. I know time is so valuable, and this is, 3/4 of an hour, half an hour. But hopefully, by sharing this with you, it means we're all learning and guiding each other. Anyway, enough soppiness. Please enjoy and enjoy every heartbeat and have more happiness than you can stand. From me, Paul, it's time to fly.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.